And we all got to know who are the first 11 president generals for the black government. In the black government, the highest person is not called the president, like how in the United States government is called the president general. And that's the highest person in our government, the president general. So I have to give honor to our current leader, the Honorable Michael Duncan, and everybody should know him. He comes from Jamaica, True Queens, New York. Previously, before he became president general, he was the president of the Queens, New York division, UNIA Division 432 in Queens. And he's gone, telling our government from since he got elected in August 2016 in New York, the things that he's done to improve our government is number one, at our headquarters, the Liberty Hall in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, those who might not be familiar with our Liberty Hall, it has been in the government since 1940, and it's been the headquarters for the UNIA government, the world headquarters since 1940. There was a fire in 1989 at the building, and what our ancestors did during the 1980s, they came together and set the building proper, put a roof on it and so on. But from since that time, 1989 to now, the roof had developed a major leak. So from the leadership of our current President General, Michael Duncan, we successfully, because all divisions gave contribution all over the world to the restoration of our headquarters. And Atlanta Division 421, we had contributed a total of $1,050 to the restoration of our headquarters of our government. And collectively, all UNIA divisions and African people were able to restore the roof on our building, and it's not leaking no more because it's right downtown Philadelphia by Temple University. And just like how Georgia State University taking over all of downtown Atlanta, Temple University is trying to do the same thing in Philadelphia and trying to take our government headquarters from us. So this is just the beginning. It's a very big building, 4 stories, 2 basements. Carmen Nkrumah stayed there, and many great Africans stayed there during the time at our headquarters, the Liberty Hall in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. But we still have a long way to go because currently the building is only being used on the 1st floor, so we still have to remodel the 2nd floor, the 3rd floor, and the basement. And you'd be amazed of our headquarters that we have. I had a chance to visit it. Is there anyone in the audience who's seen our Liberty Hall or know about our Liberty Hall, our headquarters for the government in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania? Okay, and you've been there too. Give thanks, sister. And coming up this year, next year, 2 times a year, the government meets. And this is a 98-year tradition of our people. For 98 years, from since 1920 when the government was formed, 2 times a year the government meets. And the government meets at the High Executive Council meeting, and where all division members and all divisions come together, and that's every year in April. And this coming year, in 2018, the High Executive Council meeting will be in Shreveport, Louisiana, hosted by the UNIA Division 422 in Shreveport, Louisiana. So that's mark your calendars for April 4th through the 7th will be the High Executive Council meeting. And basically what happens at the High Executive Council meeting, that's where Africans, through the divisions, what they represent, are able to tell the parent body, well, we need this, we need that, and the parent body also updates each of the division and the division president on what's happening with the government. The second success that our President General, Honorable Michael Duncan, has led us to this time is that we have set up a restaurant corporation, a restaurant cooperative amongst all the black restaurant vendors, owners in New York City and outside the state, where in a period of a month, they were able to raise over $500,000 in the restaurant corporation. So now, and not only that, from there, we created our own warehouse, and that's in Queens, New York. We have the UNIA government and African people restaurant warehouse where we're connecting with the black farmers and getting food from the black farmers, and we're creating a channel for that food to go to the black restaurant owners so we can get the food from our own people and from our own farmers instead of getting it from the Koreans and so on. Because they have that market monopolized. But currently now, we as African people, we're making a dent in it because we know that we have restaurants and we eat a lot of food, we eat and so on. So brothers and sisters, there's a lot of great things that did our... Okay, great. So we're going to hear a little bit from the Sankoncious drummers, and then we'll continue, and we're going to make sure that everybody gets a program. And make sure you look on the bottom of the program, because it tells when we meet. Our next meeting is January 14th and January 28th. And it's going to be right here in the West End. We have a new location where we're going to start meeting. It's called the Tech Sound Culture Center, and it's at 758 Cascade Road. But make sure you get an agenda. That information is at the bottom of the agenda. And there's a place available for us as African people. So now we're going to be starting meeting twice a month, the second and the fourth Sundays in Atlanta, and we're inviting everybody to come out because this is your government.
That's right.
This is our government. And our government is only going to be what we make of it. We don't have to do the legal things as far as create government and so on. Our ancestors did those legal things. All we have to do right now is build a government.
That's right.
So brothers and sisters, exactly, Ashe. So we want to put our hands together again for the Sankoncious drummers and thank them so much for coming forward. We're going to hear a little bit from the drummers and then we're going to continue the program. Okay. Thank you, family.
Baragani.
Kujichagulia.
Before we begin, I'm Kwame. I was saying earlier, I don't know if anybody heard me, but this is more than just a master drummer. This brother, my few travels to West Africa, Ghana, and Cape Coast, which is absolutely this glorious part of Ghana to me. If you're not looking at those state buildings, you're looking at the water and the natural environment. Cape Coast really shines. But I had a chance to meet this brother in Cape Coast a couple of times while I was in One Africa, ironically called One Africa. He's more than just a master drummer. This brother actually is a wealth of information, young, dynamic individual. So before we even start drumming, I just want the brother to just give me and everyone here a brief history of the drums, because as moving as they are, you know, we play them, we listen to them, we're mesmerized by them, and they send us to a certain level. There's a language, there's an aura to these drums. So I just want this brother, Ambassador, to just say a few words to us about these drums before we begin, if you please.
Thank you.
Thank you. Amen.
Before I start, can I ask the elders permission to speak? Thank you very much. My name is Sullivan Shalima Adamu, but everybody knows me as Ambassador or Babasada. I'm from Ghana, West Africa, and I moved to the state. This will be my 8th year.
Wow.
But I go home almost every year or two. In fact, I just came back from Ghana. And to start it, when I was coming to America, I have a different perception. Me back home, the America that I saw on TV. So my first visit to America came here on December 10th. So when I was coming, my wife bought me a coat. Mm-hmm. She told me to put a coat on because it's cold. So I was curious, so I was sitting right on the window. So they told us like 30 minutes to arrive at Atlanta, blah, blah, blah. So I saw there's a sun, you know, and where I came from, the sun is hot. And I said, this woman, she's crazy, there's a sun. She wanted me to wear clothes. I didn't know. I came out, the first breeze that blew me. You know? So I went back and I remember my father said, if you want to live long, you should respect women.
That's right.
So I continue. I'm going to talk a little bit about drumming. As we all know, this drum is called djembe djembe. By the way, I'm from Ghana, Upper West, I'm a Sisala. And Sisala, we're like the 5th sub-tribe of the Mandinkas. And this drum is originated by the Mandinkas, but now you can find it anywhere in the world. Anywhere in the world. And the reason why this drum is very, very important, and I'm happy when I came here, believe me or not, I saw our people here really living the history, the culture than we back home. People back home, we want to be like 50 Cent, drum like Snoop Dogg. So the culture, that's the reality. The culture here, most of people here know the history than people back home. Wow. You'll be surprised. Because people back home, everything is messed up. The history is not the same. They change the history. In fact, who knows, even now in Zimbabwe, they're giving the white people the land back.
Wow.
They're taking it from the indigenous and they're giving it back to the people. So in reality, we have a problem everywhere. They mess us up. I don't care what you say, what everybody say, they mess us up big time. I was at a place called Hillside. I do drumming therapy for the kids. And one little white boy, he said, first we start conversation with a black boy, and he said, you're not African American. Because I tell people I'm African American. He said, no, you're not African, you're African. He was just joking. And the white boy said, yeah, man, this guy smells like Africa. And I said, how do you know how Africa smells like? He said, well, if you want to know how Africa smells like, you have to go to the zoo. Like, yeah. And this boy is like 9 years. He told me, yeah. And I said, well, to be honest with you, when I moved to America, that's my first time I saw deer on the street. I never saw deer where I came from. That's my first time, so I was surprised. I thought I'm not in America. So I thought I'm somewhere else. So I said, okay, no problem, but to be honest with you, I'm not going to argue with you because you're a little boy. So later on, I was talking to his teacher. Then I realized the history that she's been teaching them was wrong. Then that's where I find out that's where the mistakes coming from. So I started telling the black dude, I said, don't call them white. They are not white because white represents something pure. This is not pure people. Yeah, it's not pure people. They are Caucasian. And I said, okay, if we give them the white, there's only two things that I know that is good about the white, because white start with W, right? If you want to spell white, you're going to start with W. The only two good things I know is because women start with W. If you want to spell women, and if you want to say something is right, we start with W. But other than that, it's wrong, wicked, witches, right? Yeah. But if you talk about the black side with B, beautiful, bold, brilliant. You know, so like and I said, no matter what you say, we don't care. So let's go about the drumming. So before somebody will get a drum to play, first of all, this drum is called djembe djembe. And djembe djembe means gather people together. Like the way we are here, that's the meaning of the drum. And first, before you can get a drum, one drum to play, some animal, excuse me about my accent and my English. If I make the person present, don't worry. Before you get a single drum to play, remember, an animal has to die, a blood.
Wow.
Because this animal skin. So before you get a single drum to play, some animal has to lose its life. Before you get a single drum to play, a tree has to be cut down. And remember, when you go to Nigeria, who knows about the Ifa religion? Yeah, most of the deities, they're made by tree, by you cutting the tree and using it for a single drum. So before you get a single drum, you cutting somebody's god, you killing their life, right? So drum has something special, but you have to know it. And when I came here, I was at the event like Malcolm X Festival. I'm not going to mention the name of the group. I saw a group performing, playing the djembes, reading, but the reading they're playing actually is for a funeral. Oh. And this is a celebration, wow. You know? So, but I didn't say anything because at least they're doing it. You know, so after I told them and I said, you know what you're playing? It's not really for this particular occasion. It's for a funeral. He said, well, he didn't know. They went and learned. They tell them market women in Africa play. I said, no, go to Africa. There's no market woman playing. Right. You know, the history has changed so much. Every rhythm that we play has a meaning. Because if it doesn't have a meaning, that doesn't make sense. Right. You know, if it doesn't have a meaning, that doesn't make sense. So really, djembe is very, very important. And I want people to appreciate people that play djembe. And before you can even get a djembe, some elderly person in your home has to take you to the blacksmith. The people that do jewelry and all the metal work, they call them blacksmith. They used to do djembe. Yeah, they used to do djembe. Yeah, so before you can get one djembe, they have to take you to a blacksmith with a kola nut before that you can get a single djembe to play. And you have to somebody that people respect you a lot. You don't have to be anybody else. You have to be somebody that people know you trustworthy, people can trust you. Because they use it as a tool of communication to some parts of the villages. So there's a high tone. Let me start with the regular tone. Can you hit one tone for me? No, you can hit one tone. So some people, they use it as a tool of communication. So there's a certain rhythm that they play. No matter where you are, you follow the sound to where the rhythm been playing. Then if the chief or the king wanna send across a message, then the gongo beater will tell you. So people follow the tone of the djembe and they can, but for instance, if I want to send, excuse my language, crazy message, I can go sit somewhere and play and people will get it and they realize that it's not true, whatever I'm saying. So before somebody will get a djembe, they have to make sure you're somebody that the community respect and trust. So djembe is very, very, very important. And also the people that play djembe, they have to set an example for the community, to everybody to respect. So if, like in that kind of family, like I'm from Ghana, so I'm going to talk a little bit about Ghana. In Ghana, if somebody greets you, you will know where the person is from the way he will respond. If you, let's say, if you saw me and say, "Marching," like good morning, right? I'm not going to respond and say, "Good morning." If I say, "Lebia," Kwame say "Marching," then I say, "Ma yejimi ahinowa," which means I'm a royal, or yejimi say. Your response will show where you're from. So people really identify you from your response. So if something happened, they're looking for a drummer, somebody will say, "No, I greet this guy," his response says he's a drummer. I greet this guy, his response says from the royal. I greet this guy, his response says he understands the language of drum. But now, all is normal. They don't even teach in the school. They say it's a fetish stuff, so it's not good. So in reality, we have a big problem, but I'm happy we're doing it here. And by the God's grace, we're going to get somewhere. So thank you for coming.
Thank you. I appreciate it.